Howdy everybody, and welcome back to our Chip and Dale tutorial, where we will today learn about the Music Manager. You know, it's funny, every time I say the Chip and Dale demo tutorial, I keep on wanting to say Legacy of the Wizard, because, well, that was the first one I did, so it keeps trying to get out of my mouth. Anyways, last time we made a couple new objects, our transition object and our stats objects. And we didn't uncomment them, so we can do that now. And we can also uncomment the object underscore music manager. So, yeah, let's get cracking on this. Done and ta-ta. Alright, so we got, oh, speaking of things we need to do, come back to our object input. Make sure we click that as persistent. Our display manager, make sure that's persistent. Our transitions, make sure that's persistent. And our stats, make sure that's persistent. We need them all to be persistent. And object underscore music underscore manager, and make sure it's persistent. And add a create event. Okay, let's get started on this. Zoom in for you. And we'll start by setting up some properties here. We are going to need a couple of variables. Now underscore playing. Up underscore next. And previous underscore track underscore. There we go. We are also going to need to load our audio groups, which we'll be doing in a second here. First, I'm going to tell you about our audio groups. So if you come up to our tools, you can go to audio groups, and you'll notice that there are several different audio groups, effects and music built in already. And it looks like I forgot to move music title to the music group. So you can do that yourself if you want to. I'm not really going to bother. It's not going to make much of a difference. Well, it will, because it will control how our volume works. But for the most part, it should be all right. Anyways, if we wanted to add a new one, we click Add New and then type in a new name up here in the bar here. It's kind of weird. You'd think it'd pop up a prompt or something, but it doesn't. It just directly you type it into the bar here. Anyways, so those are our audio groups. And well, so actually before we go into loading it, I'm going to show you how to load settings from a file. So if file underscore exists, and we're going to call this settings.ini. You can call it whatever you want. You can also put the name in a variable or something if you want to be able to change that, and whatever. There's a bunch of different things you can do with it. But we're not actually going to put anything into there right now because, well, we're not going to be using a settings file for this project. Else, do this. So, but if we did have a settings file, then we'd be able to open that file. So we'd open the file, read a line from it that tells us what volume we want to set our volume to, and then close the file back up again. But since we aren't using a settings file, we're just going to go directly and say music underscore volume is equal to global.music underscore volume, and effects underscore volume underscore is equal to global dot effects underscore volume, and audio underscore group underscore set underscore gain. There we go. Music and audio groups are basically enums. So this would be like audio group default would be 0, this would be 1, and this would be 2, and you can kind of well, I guess they're more like macros in that case, because they're maybe like a hybrid between a macro and an enum. It's, yeah. You just type in the name of it and it will know that it is the audio group. But that means it becomes reserved word, so be careful what you name them in case you want to use the word music for something else. But it is capitalized specific, so music underscore volume and 0. So that instantly sets the audio for our music audio group to be whatever the music volume is instantly. So times 0, so 0 seconds, 0 frames actually. Audio underscore group underscore set underscore gain effects, and that'd be effects underscore volume, and done. Now we are also going to want to do the same thing here in an alarm. Well, not in an alarm actually, no, not there. We're going to load this in an alarm. I'll get to that in a second. It's part of how we actually load the audio into the game and whatnot so that it's ready and available to play. First, I just wanted to come back here. So you might be wondering, okay, where's the music and effects volume variables? They're over here in our macro script, music and effects volume. So I have it as 0.0 and 0.0. Alright, so let's see what we got next here. We're going to go to our InStep. And I don't really know if the step really matters which one you use, but I decided to use the InStep for this. We are going to kill our audio here. So if audio is playing previous track and audio sound get gain previous track is less than or equal to 0.001, then stop the soundtrack. So if we come over here to our object scripts, we have this object music manager script, cue new song. What it does is it tells our music manager, object music manager, that if we say we want no song at all playing, so we give it no one, then it will set the gain of our now playing song to be 0. So the volume will be 0 after 100 frames. So I added a little bit of a fade there. And what this does is this is the cleanup crew. So if audio is playing previous track and okay, and well, yeah, okay, here we go. If up next, I think I actually maybe forgot to add that into there. So now playing is 0. I should probably actually add that in just in case. I never really ran into a problem with it, but it would probably be important if to prevent that. So if now underscore playing underscore is less than or equal to 0.001, or the audio sound get gain of now playing is less than 0.001, then audio underscore stop underscore sound. There we go. So this, if our song, if we have passed it no one as a variable, then it will turn down the volume on our currently playing song to 0. Actually, you know what? I didn't even need to do this bit here. I could have just said audio up next. So set that to be up underscore next. So and set up underscore next underscore equal to no one. Oh wait, now playing, so we put that there. That would fix it much better. Then it would stop the sound. So that's a better fix there. This is an evolving music manager because I'm constantly finding better ways to actually implement this. And actually, all this stuff I've gotten rid of in my latest version, which is in another project, and you'll see it in the next tutorial that I make because I'll be importing it back in. So the next version has a lot more scripts that you can use to get different effects and stuff, so it'll be more versatile. Anyways, so yeah, if the previous track has been set to 0 volume, stop it. If our up next and are now playing have been set to 0 volume, then stop the now playing track. So those are important because if you were to change, so just because you set the volume to 0 doesn't mean the song stops playing. It's still playing. You have to actually tell it to stop playing completely or wait for it to reach the end of the song. But if you have the song looping, there is no end to it, so it'll just keep playing forever in the background. And that can lead to issues when you raise the volume back up because you wanted to start a new song, but your old song is still playing, so now you have 2 songs playing at the same time, and that's no fun. Alright, so now that we fixed that a little bit, we're going to come over here and add a room start. So this is where the a lot of the meat in this thing comes from here. We are going to make a switch based it on what our current room is and add in some cases. Case arm underscore title and do up underscore next underscore is equal to music underscore title and break. And we'll do this with all of our different rooms because most of our rooms are just playing a single song in it when we start it. So we can just do this, copy and paste. Or at least I can do that, so lucky me. You'll have to actually type this all in. So just room 01 would be music zone 0. Room 02. So this says room zone 0, room 1 in the room. There's actually 2 rooms I built. In the actual game, there's 3 rooms, but I didn't do the second room because I didn't feel like it. So we just go directly to the boss from the first room. Then room bonus, I set it to no one, and room death to no one because I queue those up with a different with something else, and I could actually I could queue it up with the music manager too, but that's just the way things worked out. And we are going to add in a crossfade here for our music. If up next is equal to no one, kill the music if there is none queued. Audio sound gain. Okay, yeah. So if we go into a room and it's no one, then put my music down to 0, and this will trigger because up next will be equal to no one, and the audio underscore get gain will go down to 0, and it will kill whatever is currently playing. Alright, and else if audio is playing is up next. Yeah, well, else if audio is playing up next is not. So, if the current audio playing is not what's up next, then save our currently playing track to the previous track variable, set our currently playing song to the up next song, and in this case I gave it a priority of 1 and told it to loop, and then cut the volume to whatever is now playing, set it to 0 instantly because we want it to start as no volume at all. Then raise the volume of what's currently playing to the volume that we have set as our max volume over 100 frames, and audio underscore sound underscore gain, previous track goes to 0 over 100 frames, and after that it will be picked up by this code here and killed. Alright, so that should have the music change automatically when we change rooms. And you can configure that as you want again. And hopefully it'll be better when you see the new version, because like I said, I've fixed a lot of this stuff up. This stuff doesn't exist anymore in the new version because I got it all going through scripts that are much easier and more user-friendly. Let's see. So next up, we get to the most important part here: asynchronous save load. So we're going to be using the asynchronous event here again, just like with adding in our joypad input. So in this case, we are going to be using it to load our audio groups. And you'll remember the asynchronous load map. There is a, in this case, there is a type event that is for audio group load. And when we detect that a audio group load is available in the map, then if we have loaded music and effects, go to our next room. So this is so the music manager is actually controlling our transition to the next room. So we are in the, so currently we're in the init room, but when both music groups are loaded, we'll go to the title room. And the reason for this is because we want to load our music first, because if we don't load our music, then when we try to play it, there will be no sound at all. And this is important when you have games with big audio files later on, because you can have multiple audio groups for, like, this is zone 1 music and we only want to load this music. And then when you have a loading screen, you would unload all of zone 1 and then load up zone 2 music, and so on and so forth. So that way you're not using up too much RAM when you're running your game. But that's typically not really an issue with the GameMaker games, because GameMaker games are fairly light as far as it goes. Or at least the ones I've played so far have all been very light. So, I mean, anyway, so we switch on the asynchronous load map, looking for a type. And if it finds there has been an audio group load asynchronous event, it will check to make sure if our music and our effects groups are loaded, and if they are, go to the next room. And that's almost everything. We still need to come back here to our create event. Alarm 1 or alarm 0 equal to 1, because if you don't do this in the next frame, for some reason it won't work when you reload. If you do a game restart, then this won't work properly unless you do it on the next frame after you start up the game. So going to create the alarm 0 and just tell it to load our audio groups. So audio group load music, audio group load effects. And last but not least, cleanup. We want to clean up our audio groups. So free the audio from memory, unload music, unload effects. And that is everything in the Music Manager as it currently stands. We have now finished creating all of our init objects, the ones that will be persistent and sort of stick around in the background throughout the entire game so that we can use them to update things as we go along. And I believe we are now ready to finally move on to something interesting. we are going to be doing the title screen. So real quick here, just to make it so that we can actually see what's going on, create an object underscore title and give it a sprite. Let's see if I can find it. Did I put in GUI? No. Oh, backgrounds. There we go. Sprite title. And come back here to our title room. Oop. Have background color set to red. I probably forgotten that. And we're going to move you there. Okay, this is going to be so that we can, I'm also doing this so that we can kind of debug all of the stuff that I've talked about so far. Hopefully it'll run, but if it doesn't, then I'll go back through and we'll find the bugs and fix it. See, there we go. Effect volume, not set before reading it. Oh. And that's in the create line. So create. That should be effects. And there we go. So you can see down here, audio group 1 loaded, audio group 2 loaded, because we told it to over here in our alarm 0. And here we have audio group number 1. That would be the debug messages I told it to print out right here. Async load event, audio group load, audio group 1 loaded, audio group load, audio group 2 loaded. And you know, I was telling you that audio groups are kind of like enums or macros, enum macros. And so this is 1 and this is 2 because the default group is 0. All right, and yeah, I believe that's ready to go. You don't hear any music because I had the global audio set to 0, but if you put the music to 1 or something, you'll be able to hear it, hopefully. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining, and I hope you had a great time. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment and ask. I'm sure that your question is probably had by many other people, and they would all love to know the answer. And I'm pretty good at answering questions. I do think so. So anyways, good luck with your programming, everybody.